gotta do it.
We're gonna do the Wayne's World, like the 3. I'm Brian.
And I'm Josh, and we're in the Orchid's Curse.
And you're listening to the deliciousness of
Ondes Chocs! Yeah!
For every concrete sound, a story, a life, a memory. Return to the dirt. Return to ash, return to earth. Precious is not life, what will be living? Where the cycle of life was life to one and all. Intelligence with no exception. Controls of nature's laws. So take the rise above. Pre-program misery. Let the present one be. Not intimate, not.
Hey, salut tout le monde! Mon nom c'est Dave Rouleau, Michael's Drill and Bar. Puis ici, on a une compagnie de tatou. Puis ici, on a surtout Orchid's Curse. Et puis, on va avoir un show ce soir. On est arrivé quand même de bonne heure à Halifax. On est loin de chez nous. On est arrivé de bonne heure. Puis on va avoir un show par eux autres. Demain, on a le Thrashfest. Je voulais parler à Josh de la scène en général à Halifax et aussi de son band. Donc, on va au moins leur demander de se présenter. Guys, who the fuck are you?
I'm Brian Jones.
And I'm Josh Hogan, and we are 2/5 of Orchid's Curse.
Yeah.
There you go. Guys,
Yeah.
Your band is from Halifax, right?
Total. Well, Dartmouth, actually, if you want to get technical, we're from the other side
Oh,
of the
come
grid.
on! So it's like, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Not even.
No,
Just
okay.
across the bridge.
There you go.
It's like right there.
And I actually discovered you in Quebec City. Dude, you're a punch in the face. You were the first band of the night.
Thanks.
No, that's a good thing. You were a punch in the face. I mean, everyone was, what the fuck is happening on the stage, man? You sound like Darkest Hour. You sound like.
I'll take that.
No, because you have a lot of European influences, and you also have a lot of hardcore in your sound. How do you describe your sound yourself?
Darkest Hour is probably one of the bands I think we all kind of agree that we like. I mean, we all have our own kind of influences, I guess, so our sound kind of ends up being hopefully, an amalgamation of all of our influences. But, I mean, I think if we had to say it, kind of along that line of like, melodic metal, this, from what Carcass kind of laid down into Darkest Hour's world, and then kind of...
I'm a pretty big Darkest Hour fan.
Yeah, and stuff like, we all kind of like, stuff like Lamb of God. I mean, we all grew up on your Pantera and Slayer and stuff like that, like most metalheads did.
Don't know about them, I'm sorry.
And then we kind of branched out and just kind of went into our own things. But I mean, everybody kind of likes different stuff. Like, fuck, Keith loves Frank Zappa, Bobby loves punk music, like Kevin
love
loves
Van
the
Halen.
most extreme metal. He loves Van Halen.
That's quite okay.
Finn Lizzy's my favorite band of all time. Like, we all just like music, I guess. But for us, I mean, we're just kind of melodic death metal. I just like saying metal. We're a metal band.
Yeah, I saw it on your Facebook. That's
we're just a metal band.
There you go.
We play metal.
And why Orchid's Curse? Why that name?
It's kind of a fluke. Yeah, that was.
Take it away.
Take it away. We were originally going to be called October Crisis, and we realized there was a lot of other bands in Canada called October Crisis.
There was?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was an old school Quebec hardcore band from the 80s.
Te connais-tu?
They all go with the October Crisis of 1970s.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all named after the actual October Crisis that happened in Quebec.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the original thing. We played a couple shows under that, and then realized there was 700 bands with that name. And we just started like looking up names, and coincidentally, I made this big list, and that one was the only one with the same initials. Like OC was still the same.
And Ondes Chocs too, man. Ondes Chocs, Orchid's Curse.
OC.
That was meant to be. That was meant
And it
to
was
be.
just totally random, and that was the name that stuck. And it's from a Twin Peaks episode, like the David Lynch TV series.
Yeah.
And that was the name of one of the episodes on season 2. It was called The Orchid's Curse.
On season 2.
Yeah, and I was just like, I was like, I like that name. It sounds like it sounds like a sweet band name.
A lot of people confuse it and call us Orchid's Curse.
Oh, we get that all the time. Like
Why?
like
I don't know.
apples, like an apple orchard.
Yeah.
Like we just played a fest. It was really fun actually. We played this really awesome festival. But the guy that like announced us on stage called us the Orchard's Curse.
No.
But it happens all the time.
I
like,
think
it's
he
like,
asked us beforehand how to pronounce it. And we said Orchid's Curse,
Like
and then
the
he
flower,
says
not
Orchid's
the
Curse.
apple.
And I was like, dude, Orchids. He's like, I'm sorry, man. I was like, yeah, whatever. It's like,
But it's too late.
But so that's kind of a funny side.
I think we're gonna have to do a band photo sometime in an actual apple orchard.
No, don't
That'll
do that.
just confuse people,
Yeah,
man.
there you go.
And that's
There you
why,
go.
that's why.
You want to
It's-
fuck
it's
with
a joke.
people's mind? I like it.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's be like, we're Orchid's Curse, man.
How does it work in your band, man? Who wrote the music?
Ryan.
Who writes the music?
Ryan and Keith.
A lot of it starts with either me or Keith, our other guitar player.
Yeah.
Then we just build from there. Usually I'll have something written.
Yeah,
I'll bring
take it back
those
to the
guys.
band and-
or Keith, vice versa. Keith will have something to bring it back to the band, and then everyone just throws their part in.
Yeah, once
writes
drum
all
and
the
bass
lyrics.
comes in, then I'll do the vocals once kind of everything's done. Sometimes I'll like hash out ideas as we're writing the song, but usually now I don't really start writing lyrics until the full song's kind of like, until I have a full puzzle piece or a full picture of what we're doing.
We usually
so
write the music first, and then we
record it, like demo it ourselves.
demo it, and send it to Josh, and then he'll write some lyrics over top of it.
And you released Words, your last album. Where was it recorded? Here in Halifax?
Yeah, we recorded it at a spot called Coda Pop Studios.
Coda Pop?
Yeah,
Coda Pop, okay, yeah. Sure.
Awesome.
Everybody knows that.
They were great to work with, though. Seriously, a beautiful studio here in Halifax, and we had a great time. We brought in a local producer musician, Jason Botor, who produced the record.
It was awesome.
And we worked with, J-Vo's, and he's in a great band called Pith, who's playing tomorrow night.
Yeah, man! Love it, love
J-Vo is
it.
the
Yeah, love
guitar
it.
player, main songwriter of that band.
They did that 11-minute song that was epic.
Baptisms along the Atron. Oh,
But
Yeah.
there's no way
yeah, I love that you guys know that.
Yeah,
So
Baptism
fucking
of the Archeron, yeah.
But there's no way they're gonna be playing that song tomorrow.
Oh, they probably will. They'll probably play that song and like 2 other songs, maybe 3. They'll probably play like 6 songs or 4 songs. Yeah, because half their set's gonna be that song.
There you go.
They might not, but where that's the new album, like the new EP, so to speak. The last time they played here, they played the full song. So
There you go.
and so J-Vo produced it, and then we sent it to Vancouver to be mixed by Sean Thingvold.
Okay.
Who worked with Darkest Hour and Lamb of
he
God.
did?
Yeah, he worked
No
on
way, man.
He worked on Undoing Rune. He worked on As the Palace is Burned by Lamb of God. He worked on a bunch of Strapping
Strapping
Lad
Lad.
records, who's
There you
one
go.
of my favorite fucking bands of all time, I have to say. And then we sent it to the States to be mastered.
Virginia to
Is it
Jamie.
Virginia?
Jamie King.
Somewhere in the
Pretty
States.
sure it's Virginia.
North Carolina. I
North
thought?
Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina. Jamie King was like Between the Buried and Me, and
He is legend.
He is legend. Fucking Glass Casket.
Wow.
He's not around anymore, but they
And
were awesome
he
too.
mastered it.
Yeah, and he mastered it.
And
And,
they
then
all
we got
did
it back, and everybody just was awesome.
They all did a great job on it. We were extremely excited.
Yeah, it was the first album we really did. Like the other albums, we kind of did, in a studio or in a home studio, and then kind of like got it mixed and mastered by friends, kind of. And this was the first time we're
During
like,
a party.
this was the first time we're like,
We're like,
okay,
hey, man.
our master's going to, or mix is going to Vancouver. Our master's going to the States. So it was really cool to kind of do, even though it's our 3rd album, it was kind of like our first kind of real kind of, properly done, I guess, like fully from start to finish.
And being from Halifax, I mean, we have to be realistic. And is that an advantage for you, or is that a disadvantage for you?
It's
you know what I mean?
both, I think.
I think it's more of a disadvantage. I mean,
Yeah.
It is a disadvantage, but then when Black Dahlia Murder comes here, we get to open for them. You know what I mean?
There you go.
When
I mean,
we
with
got
that
to,
kind of
we
stuff,
got
yeah,
to open
it's-
for a lot of great bands that came here because there's only a handful of like really, there's a really great metal scene, but there's probably like, a dozen bands that are serious, like really committed, doing touring, putting out records, that are really serious about it. So, I mean, it gives us more opportunities where like, Black Dahlia Murder comes to Toronto and there's, 1,000 bands that could open for them, and here there's 10, so it's like, we've been lucky enough that way, but on the
with
reverse...
with touring, it's harder.
Yeah, we're like
'Cause,
fucking
I mean,
18 hours from anywhere that we
Yeah,
can go,
like,
other than the
we want to go
Maritimes.
tour outside of the Maritimes. We're looking at about 12 hours.
Whereas you live in Toronto, you can tour like, southeastern Ontario.
You have
for
like, 8 million people around here?
Exactly.
And,
At all
here it's
times,
like,
right?
we're in a much smaller population base, I guess, so.
But have you ever thought about moving out of Halifax?
I moved out of Halifax.
Yeah, he lived in
for a little
Toronto
while. I
for a
moved to
year or
Toronto.
so.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, for a little while.
So,
I came back because I missed my band.
But I mean, we've kind of talked about it, but it's always one of those things. I mean, if the right opportunity presented itself, maybe. But you know,
it's got to be serious.
Yeah, like we really. I mean, we've all
crapshoot.
got our own things here. Most of the guys are doing families. I think we got 2/5 of the band married. 2/5 married. And then one more engaged, so you know, like
Is that you?
No, I'm not. But Keith's next. Brian and Kevin are down. Keith will be next on the chopping block, and but yeah, like you know, everybody's kind of doing their own thing, so we're all pretty content here. But I mean, if the right opportunity presented itself and it was going to pay the bills,
I was going to ask. If the right opportunity for a tour, would you be able to do it? I mean, job-wise, I mean, family-wise, or
I think so. Yeah, if the right opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, the right opportunity, we're gonna tour. We're gonna do anything.
We've had some good opportunities. You
We're
know,
all
do
pretty
some
lucky.
regional dates and stuff.
We're all pretty lucky with the jobs we have to. I mean,
They're either flexible or disposable, so it's like.
there you go.
Right. Well, yeah, you gotta do it. You gotta do it, right?
Yeah. What I like about you, man, is you're also with Diminished Fifth Records, which is a label. Is that yours only?
Well, I technically own it. Brian's actually my unofficial, unpaid A&R guy. I should probably buy him another beer for all the hard work he does. But yeah, Brian does do my kind of A&R work. But the label is mine. I mean, officially. But
And you're also with Red Tentacles, which is promoting the show tonight.
Yes, which I only co-own Red Tentacle. My buddy at Sand King co-owns the other half, and he's probably in there working. But I'm gonna let him work so I can keep drinking tonight. That seems like the responsible thing to do.
But would it be fair to say that you're a big part of the scene right here? I mean, I don't think there's 10 people like you, 10 person like you who owns a label and a promotion company.
I mean, there's a few people working hard for sure, and it's great. Like, I'm definitely involved.
Can you name
in the
them?
scene.
Is that possible? Just to get Jack.
I mean, there's. No, I mean, I don't want to call it answered, but there's lots. Because I'm scared. I know I don't want to forget anybody either, right? But
there you go.
There are other promoters. There's lots of people.
I like the look that you gave.
The good thing is though is that I get to work with a lot of these people. Like the one thing that I feel really lucky about the scene here is like I remember talking with Noel, who runs Inertia in Toronto one time, and he was really shocked because he was up here with Macabre, and me and my friend Justin Murphy had booked him. I'll name drop Justin. Justin's good people.
Ooh,
so, but no one knows who he is, but. Fuck you, Murphy. No, I love that guy. But me and Murphy co-pro like his company, Morbid Entertainment, Red Tentacle. We co-promote a lot of the metal shows that come through, like smaller scale shows. So we'll do like we did Black Dahlia Murder, we did Napalm Death, we've done Macabre, and when Noel
How
was
the
up,
fuck do you get those bands to come here?
you
man?
beg them and you tell them that the fans are going to be really supportive, but it's going to be 300 people maybe or something, right? Like
It is?
Yeah. Like
There is going to be 300.
Oh yeah, like
nice.
Yeah, like we
nice.
with Black Dahlia, I think we did an all-age show and a bar show, and we sold out the bar show, which was 250 tickets.
Wow.
And we sold out the all-age show the day of the show, which was 300 tickets. And Napalm Death, we only did the bar show that sold out. So I mean, there's a serious dedicate a couple hundred, and I mean, we've had when Lamb of God was here, we did 3,000 people. That wasn't my show, but Lamb of God.
Were you at a festival?
No, it was just them at a. It was just
Them
the
and
first-
Guar.
Yeah, them and Guar and Job for a Cowboy, and there was like 2,800 people or something. So I mean, there is a crowd that will come through. Unfortunately, as much of them don't come out just for local stuff as I'd like. But I mean, there is a developed scene here, and part of what we've been doing, like we do Loud Thursdays every month here with Red Tentacle. And Diminished Fifth, always tries to sponsor, give in gifts, like prize packs, stuff like that. One of the biggest things with what we've done with the label is really just try to make it so we can at least put out quality music and show people east of Montreal that there's a scene here. Like there is a real metal scene, a lot of talented bands. I mean, tonight there's 3 great bands playing, but tomorrow and over the weekend you guys are going to see like probably 14 bands who are all.
Actually 10.
Is it only 10? There's only 5 playing each night.
Yeah, 5 each night.
Wow, that's actually really. I mean, before they
and
done
3
more,
from Quebec. So we're all the way here for 7 bands. What the fuck are we doing here, man?
Those are 7 of the best bands in the East Coast. So that it makes me sad I'm going to a wedding now, but
Okay.
But seriously, like you're gonna see some serious top tier East Coast talent this weekend, which is awesome. Yeah. So
I'm not from Halifax. That's my first time here. We're on Yonge Street right now. We're close to downtown. If there was maybe a few venues to name drop right now, name dropping of venues.
Seahorse.
The Seahorse is classic. It's the oldest venue in the city. I think it was opened in 48. It's been open since 1948.
Gus's Pub.
Gus's Pub is like, well, that's where you're going to be.
Tomorrow.
Gus's Pub is like closer to here than downtown. We're kind of in between downtown and like the north side, North End or whatever. And Gus's Pub is an amazing little like awesome bar that
It is?
serves the best
Yeah.
burgers in the world. It's very tiny. It's like
Ace
150 cap. The burgers there are fucking to die for. Like you have no idea how
And you
good
get
these
little
burgers
beers
are.
too for like
250, 3
or something for tiny beers.
But
They go
Gus's is
down
like
pretty- they
Gus's
get
is a
quick.
very staple of metal. Like they've always done kind of niche stuff. Michael's has been open for about a year doing shows. They used to just be kind of a karaoke bar, but as you can tell, it's a great room. Like 3 Inches of Blood played here. Fucking Cancer Bats played here. Like there's been some awesome bands come through Michael's, and it's a 300 room, so it's like a level up. And yeah, that's pretty much it for like smaller scale stuff. The Marquee just reopened. Which used to be open years ago. Used to be the Paragon. And that's like about a 700 room, and that's where a lot of like bigger metal bands will come. And then after that, you're pretty much going to like you're renting a 2,000 hall or like a stadium type thing from there. So
Nice. The metal scene over here. What does it look like? Is it more on the crust side? Is it more deadcore?
it's everything. The weird thing about East Coast is everybody always kind of asks with Diminished Fifth, like, what's the East Coast metal sound? And there's none. Like the scene here just doesn't
so
sound
many
alike.
different-
Look at us, man.
But like, no,
different types of bands
but there's
that
not
are
like we kind of we call ourselves a metal band. We're obviously like melodic metal or whatever. But then you have a band like Pit that's sort of like extreme progressive metal, writing 13.5-minute long songs.
And you get bands like Halifax.
Holocaust, who are total fucking terrifyingly awesome, extreme blackened crust,
They're awesome.
deliciousness. There's a really good
Deliciousness.
There's a very good heavy crust
Love
scene.
that word.
Like crust punk scene here is
Yeah.
pretty alive.
Bands like
There's a really good
Spew
punk,
are
there's a
playing
really good
Crash.
like just punk scene here too, to be honest. But the metal scene's really varied. A couple of years ago, stoner rock and stoner metal was really big. I mean, Death Valley Driver's still obviously holding that torch. Iron Giant. Death Valley Driver, nice. But yeah, a lot of good bands are doing like different things. But the beauty is that none of those bands really sound alike. I mean, even tonight there's an instrumental band opening, a prog rock.
The first one?
Yeah, Oceanic's
Yeah.
instrumental.
Nice.
Bombing of Dresden's like a technical.
Death?
Kind of no,
No,
more
it is
like
not.
technical prog metal, kind of like really cool stuff. And then we're what we are, and it's like, there's always kind of a good mix. So it's like it's a nice scene that's varied, I guess. There's no real East Coast sound. Like I know a lot of a lot of the, let's say the Trois Rivières metal scene. A lot of those bands are all like very technical melodic metal, and there's kind of that sound. But out here, it's not so much that there's a sound as much as a scene, I guess. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, there's a lot of different types of genres of bands playing together.
Like there's thrash bands,
A lot
there's
of different
classic metal, there's
metal
throwback.
genres playing together.
If there was to be like a local show, how many people would you draw? Maybe on a good night or a moderate night?
On a real, I mean, we sold out the Sears for a CD release, which is 250 people.
Wow.
But on that was a CD release, so you get your aunts
Fuck,
that doesn't
man, that's
normally
pretty
come
good,
out.
man.
But on average, I mean, I'd say here you get anywhere from like 100 to 200 people on like a good weekend. Good local bands, not overplaying. But if you tie it in with like a CD release, video release, I mean, a lot of times, you can pack a 200, 300 room in the city with metal, which is nice for a city this size. So.
If you had one band in the area, and not Orchid Skirts or Orchid Skirts or Orchid Skirts,
Orchid Skirts.
That's good. Who would it be? What would it be?
If I had to pick my favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, this puts me in an awkward position. I have like my
No,
favorites
no,
that
no.
change from time to time. Honestly,
Nothing against the others.
honestly, like, I really miss Rusted Dawn, who's no longer together.
Oh.
Yeah, they broke up a couple years ago. Rusted Dawn was one of my favorite bands on the scene, for sure. I'm a bit biased because maybe they were on my label. Outside of that,
I should
I
have
think
thought.
for me, one of the bands that I really loved in this city who are actually not around anymore, as far as I know, was the North End Metal All Stars.
that is the fucking band
They
right
were
there.
so good. They were awesome.
They were
had
like a
different-
super group of
It's
all
like
these
members
great
of,
metal bands, like
Terror
Holocaust
Tomb and
Terror
Holocaust,
Tomb,
yeah. And they were totally awesome. But
Three guitar
I don't
players.
think they're around anymore.
Yeah.
And by the way, how do you replace a guy in a band right now in Halifax? I mean, it's like incest where everybody knows everybody.
There is you kind of just like walk down in the North End by
What?
Gus's and you're like, is there a bass player tonight? Anybody want to play bass?
We actually we had a bass player before the bass player that we had now, and basically he played in bands and I knew him from before. So when our old bass player left, he kind of just
But even since then, how many bands has Kevin subbed with?
And
Three? since he's
Yeah,
been in
I
our
mean,
band? Because other bands are like, oh, we need to go play like
So our bass player fills in for a lot of
other bands sometimes, just because that's like, well,
So
Death
if you
Valley
need him,
Driver.
he's probably for hire.
Yeah,
Probably
Death Valley
for hire.
Driver did Involve the Macadam last year. Involve the Macadam.
Oui, in Quebec City. Yeah,
Last year or the year before.
In September.
Yeah, last year. And
He was up there
he
playing
went
with
up with
them.
them because their bass player couldn't go for the weekends. He was like, I'll fill in. Like, you know, it's just like, so the scene here is really
Wow.
kind of connected that way, and a
Yeah.
lot of people are really cool. But yeah, North End Metal All-Stars was definitely, sadly, no longer together, but one of the best bands. For bands to watch right now, I mean, Napalm Raid is doing amazing things. They're touring all over North America.
This is very good.
Napalm
I
Raid is
love
fucking
this band.
awesome.
Love this
Yeah.
band. Burnt Church is quite
Burnt
good
Church
too.
is great too. Very crusty, very dirty and dingy. I love it.
Deliciousness.
Codice
Delicious.
is Codice is amazing too. Codice is some of the members that were in North End Metal All Stars.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's really, truthfully, there's a lot of good bands here, and there's bands that have kind of like come and gone, and there's some really good young bands out there now too, which is nice to see. So there's still like kids kind of wanting to make music, which is always refreshing.
Talking about music, I think there's a show going on right now,
Yeah,
man.
we should probably
There
go
is.
check it.
Dude, thanks so much.
Dude, thank you, man.
so much,
And we need
man.
to get back up to Quebec City.
Yes.
That's a great ride. That's a long ride for an interview, though.
Oh yeah,
Next
but it's a
time-
good
next
ride
time
for
you
a
come to
show.
Quebec
Next
City.
time we'll be in Quebec City. And I mean, you know what, when you think about it, I think Quebec City is like, what, 9 hours from here?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Yeah, it's like 9
9
hours.
hours?
Dude, man.
Fuck, man, that's not fair.
We'll be back to Quebec.
We can make it happen.
There you go.
That
Thank you.
La Gité is...
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks. Hey, by the way, I want to do an intro.
Go ahead.
And now, we're going to let Kevin start off our set.
I feel like such a stereotype.
It's a double dose. It's bass player credit night.
sticking around. I know it's Thursday night, sorry. But there are 350 well shots. So make sure to tip Becky and the staff very generously. We're the Orchid's Curse, and now we're going to play some new songs for you guys.
Yeah!
He's got hair in his mouth.
It's okay, you can call it sick, man.
He's got hair in his mouth. All up in that mouth. And on his bird. So says Bobby. We're going to play a couple new songs off our latest album awards for you guys. But first off, I want to dedicate this next song to Oceanic for getting the party started. So seriously, put your hands together for fucking Oceanic, ladies. This next song is called His Servants.